Okay, tip number 6 is to pick the right progression scheme for the right exercise. We all know that progressive overload is the key to keeping a muscle growing. You need to add a little more stress to the muscle each week over time. If you keep using the same weight for the same reps week in and week out, the muscle has no reason to keep growing. There is a slight problem with progressing on shoulder exercises. Isolation movements like lateral raises are really hard to overload. If you start with 15s and just add 5 pounds each week, by week 8, you'd be up to 50-pound laterals. That's simply not realistic, even if you get some serious cheating going. So you need to make sure that your progression scheme actually matches the exercise that you're doing. For isolation exercises like lateral raises and rear delt flies, that linear progression won't work because you'll quickly max out how much weight you can add. So instead, use something called a double progression. In this case, you pick a rep range rather than a rep target. Let's say 10 to 12 reps. Start in week 1 with a weight that you know you can do for 10 reps and hit failure, or get close to it. The next week, do that same weight, but this time for 11 reps. Then the next week, 12 reps. Once you hit the top end of that rep range, add some weight and go back to 10 reps again. The next week, at the new weight, add 1 rep again, and so on and so on. And if you're doing 3 sets, you don't need to add a rep to all 3 sets. Just 1 rep to 1 set is enough to keep progression moving, especially as you get more advanced. But eventually, you won't even be able to add 1 rep to 1 set without your form breaking down. At that point, here's the fix. Rotate in a new exercise and start your progression over. If you were doing dumbbells, switch to cables and run a new double progression there. Once you max out what you can do on cables, switch to a machine and run a new double progression there. You'd be surprised just how much of a difference actually having a planned progression scheme that you actually track and stick to makes over time.